Listen, y'all, I'm actually getting pissed off at OpenBeat.ai. So you guys know the whole drama that Weaver uncovered by addressing OpenBeat.ai for malpractice in this space. The whole premise is that it was based on fraud and malpractice and misleading people. Okay, it's not necessarily about ethics. It's not necessarily about the AI and the APIs. It's about the misleading of a people and deception being used for profit, aka fraud. So that is one thing that's pissing me off because I just went to the OpenBeat.ai YouTube, and you guys know I stated an apology, even though I wasn't pushing it heavy. I wasn't talking about the ethics or anything, but I still apologize to the people because I was a part of the reason why people signed up to OpenBeat.ai. And if they signed up to OpenBeat.ai because they thought it was ethical and they thought it was the good Suno, then they need to understand that they were bamboozled because that's not the case. And that's what, OpenBeat.ai put up in video form. Now, currently, you guys can see there's no apology video anymore. So OpenBeat.ai, we're going to give you guys 48 hours to publish a public video that addresses the producer community for your deception and your lies and your misleading of people for profit. Because what you're doing now is just being disrespectful to the producer community. So firstly, let me ask a couple questions. How did you meet My Guy Mars? How did you meet Jay Black? How did you meet Larry O? How did you get the relationships with BusyWorks Beats? How did you get the relationships with Ab McCree? Were they in the mastermind group that I created that I invited you to? So now we're playing with people's relationships behind the scenes. And when you start doing stuff like this and misleading people, it's one thing to put up a product and take a gamble in the AI market. That's one thing. But when you start what is the word? When you start just manipulating people's relationships, this is the exact reason why I closed down my Telegram group. I had 100 to 200 of the top people in the space, from Decap to Cashmere to, so many people in there. Lario was in there at one point, Simon Servita, et cetera, Jay Cactus, all the top people in our space. And my number one goal was to get us on one accord to help each other out so that we can help the producer community out. So one thing I closed the group down, the one reason I closed the group down was because of people doing bad business underneath my umbrella of activity in my name. I closed it because I can't trust 200 people that I really don't know like that. So this is just telling me that somebody's going to take the relationships from my mastermind group, do a whole business thing, do all this stuff behind our backs. Because I had one discovery. For example, Lario, who has yet to address the public, you need to hop on a video and address the producer community for you being a part of deceiving that many people into buying something, because this is probably the only essence of actual fraud that we've seen in the producer community, where people were told on OpenBeat, as you guys still have your videos up, delete your freaking videos. Why are they still up on YouTube? Like, this is just disrespectful at this point. They're like, oh, I apologize, but I'll keep the video up so I can get revenue and traffic, but I apologize. No, it's called take the video down. Like, it's your channel. They didn't pay you, right? Take the video down. What are you doing? You're just making yourself look stupid. Larry O, Ab McCree, I know you apologize, but you got to take that video down, my guy. Bolo, he doesn't want to apologize. I personally think you should, because again, you're one of the main reasons people sign up to this platform. And if they sign up thinking that it was basically an ethical Suno, then you need to take responsibility for letting people in the gates. This company literally had no traffic. Okay, they had no traffic. Their rollout plan was to go to people like myself, because I had the mastermind group of the relationships of the top people. Go to Jay Black, for example, all behind my back, by the way. Go to a Larry O, go to an Av McCree, go to a Bolo, and then pitch all these people who came, except for Bolo, he was never in the mastermind group, who came from the mastermind group. Okay, this is my network of people that I put together to build together. So this person is still acting as if they have this good faith on BusyWorks Beats name, because I could probably ask these guys, Larry O and Ab McCree, I know they worked in the past with certain companies, but really ask yourself, like, did you do the deal because it was just you and this company, or was it because we're in this kind of brotherhood of activity? Who knows what they think? But ultimately, ask where these relationships came from, okay? So long story short, this is all done behind my back, never even talked about. I'm curious, and Larry O can clear this up, but there was an interview done, let me see, it was about 7 months ago. I find it very ironic because it only takes about 9 months to build something significant in software land. So was Larry O privy of this 7 months ago when he interviewed the creative director of OpenBeat.ai? Now, I have nothing but respect for My Guy Mars. I don't think My Guy Mars even knew all the back end dramatics that are happening right now. So this has nothing to do with My Guy Mars. I feel like he was bamboozled too. But you guys at OpenBeat.ai, whoever wants to claim control of this company, okay, so for example, My Guy Mars is the creative director of this app. Now, again, I was never told about this app. Now, funny enough, the person who's behind the scenes that invited us all to this opportunity, quote unquote opportunity, They always tell me about their projects. They tell me about, I had probably was pitched 5 to 6 projects over the years. Okay. And if you don't come to the YouTube and address the people and stop acting like deception did not happen, then I will have to air out our whole conversation chain and show the people how you act and how you behave behind the scenes, because you're really not taking accountability, which is really crazy. The letter on the video that you put up as a screenshot as a video that you took down, which is actually crazy. Like, you need to stand accountable, OpenBeat.ai, and you need to come to the public and tell them what happened. We will probably get over it. Okay. Now, Bolo, I really think you need to apologize to your people, my guy. You said you didn't know and all this stuff. That's fine. But when you know, and we're the only people that were basically at the front of this kingdom where we call it the producer community, and we're the people at the gate, metaphorically speaking. Me, you, Larry O, Av McCree, DJ Payne 1, Jay Black, we all let these people into our metaphorical kingdom. Our job is to protect the people. So if we let them in the front door, and we didn't check the goods that we're coming in with, that's our responsibility. We let them in. There was no other pathway into the producer community. This company would have had to pay thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to even be remotely considered relevant. Okay, this is not some company that just blows up because they have a good idea. This is a company that required influencers to even be known. Okay, so the fact that they even got known through us makes it our responsibility. Whether we think it's ethical or not, whether we think we were bamboozled or not, we're responsible for what happens. That's why I made a whole apology video, even though I talk about AI all the time, whether it's ethical or not. It's not about the ethics. It's the fact that people were told this is the ethical way to go. And that's, chances are they bought in because of that. And for the people who didn't know it was just a simple API to Suno, those people got bamboozled too, because they could simply have signed up to Suno. So those are 2 reasons why you need to hop on a video and apologize. The same way Larry O needs to apologize to his audience, to our audience. This is a shared audience. It's not one person's audience and another person's audience. So you guys should be, if you felt like people were bamboozled over here, then I need to feel like they were bamboozled over there as well. Again, to Bolo, this video has 183,000 views. 183,000 views with your face on it. And you're saying that you had no part in helping people sign up. Like, bro, you got to be accountable at some point. Like, you can't keep, and Bolo, I heard the, and this is no shade to Bolo as a human. I would hug him in person. We would be fine. I'm talking about as the business of Bolo, the producer. He went on Weaver Beats and did like this audio interview or something like this on the phone. Okay. Shout out to Weaver Beats for putting up the content. My issue with Bolo was that he was skirting around accountability and then started bringing up his accomplishments in the industry. What does that have to do with you convincing people to sign up to a website, a SaaS company that uses APIs? That has nothing to do with your accolades in the industry. So please stop skirting around it with your success in the industry as if you're immune to criticism. This is literally the only account of fraud I can actually think of in the music producer community. And what I really hate about OpenBeat.ai is that, one, they made an apology video or, you know, in a accountability post, which was really sad. Okay. Now they put that down. So if you take down the apology post, okay, basically taking the blame away from the people that you misled, now you really got to make a video with your face on it. Okay. Talking to the people about what happened. We can all get over this scenario and start from zero. But the fact that you used all of our faces, okay, to get all these people on your website, and then you're not addressing the most obvious things about your website and the most obvious things about what went down, you're making everybody else look really crazy. So even though myself, Av McCree, DJ Payne 1, I think, started his apology. So, and then I think Av McCree I saw after that, and then myself, because I learned from DJ Payne 1, like, even though I might feel like I have nothing to do with the results and the underlings of how I was trained and everything, I'm still responsible for letting people in the front door of the kingdom of the producer community. And what pisses me off even more, again, like I said, behind the scenes, is how did they even get hold of all these influencers if it wasn't for the work that I put in from my network behind the scenes to make everybody work on one accord? I put that work in. So now you're abusing my power, okay, to be selfish about this. And then on top of this, not even addressing the actual fraud that they've been doing, deceiving customers. Okay. So like I said, as a customer, if you guys felt, is it defrauded or befrauded or whatever the word is, if you felt deceived, if you felt like this company promised you the ethical Suno and you thought you were doing the clean thing, then you need to demand, not ask, demand a refund from this company. Don't do a chargeback, because it's actually going to charge the company money and it's going to make it even worse for that company. I would recommend you guys just demand your refund. And if the company doesn't give you a refund, screenshot it and show me the email, And then we're really going to have an issue at that point, because OpenBeat.ai is really playing with our names. And this is like the only reason this company got off the ground was because of influencers and the relationships that we put in as creators to all work together. That's the only reason this company got off the ground. Okay. Now they would have had to spend tens of thousands of dollars for people to even remotely have cared. But they said, okay, we'll just use our relationships. It's not your relationship though. That's the thing. So my thing is, look, OpenBeat.ai, you owe all of us an apology, not only to the people who bought in, but the influencers that you lied to. And secondly, you need to put your face on the camera. I don't care who does it. I don't care if it's Mars. I don't care if it's the person who put all this together and invited us to all this. You need to put your face on the camera and apologize to people and apologize to the influencers. And Bolo, I recommend you guys hop on an apology video, because Bolo, in my opinion, as a business, that's just the really wrong way to go about it. You just gotta be humble in this case and say, I know I don't necessarily agree that I'm accountable for the ethics of something, but the fact is, again, like I said, we are the only traffic source for this company. Your video has 183 something thousand views on it, which probably led people to buy into this company. If they thought this company was ethical, then you are responsible for driving people to this company to buy their product that they thought was ethical. It doesn't mean you have to take the brunt of the liability. It just means that you have to be accountable for letting people in the front door, because that's actually what happened. And to all the content creators who still have your videos up, delete your mother effing video. I'm trying not to curse on this video. Why are your videos still up? This company doesn't exist without you. Delete your freaking videos. Don't unlist it. Don't private it. Delete it. Goodness, y'all. This really bothers me that people are this disrespectful to the producer community. Like, it really, 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 really bothers me, like on a high level. Okay, so OpenBeat.ai, you guys got to get it together. Larry O, you can't put out a FL Studio video before addressing this. You cannot skirt around this. This is not something to skirt around, bro. This is literally the only case of actual fraud that I could think exists in the whole entirety of my 10 years in the music producer community. The only case. Let me pull up an example. And just so you guys know what fraud means, it says wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. Well, it sounds like OpenBeat.ai got the personal gain, and it sounds like they used deception, okay, or wrongfulness or deception, which was intended to result in personal gain. They didn't know we were going to check out the APIs and the whoever did the research underneath the hood. You guys can watch the DJ Pain 1 video. In fact, I'll pull it up just in case you didn't see it. All right, so for people who want a little context, I'll play a little clip from DJ Pain 1's video called OpenBeat.ai just responded, are they using Suno?
To Alish Mazur. I think I'm saying his name correctly. I had to Google it. He sent me this information. If you're watching this, I really appreciate it. So this confirmed it for me. Check this out. Right up here, here's the OpenBeat.ai URL. This links to a track that I generated way back when I first made the video on OpenBeat. There's the output. Now we go to Suno. Look at the date, November 23rd, 2025 at 8:58 p.m. This is when I was recording that video. Now let's listen to this track.
That's the same track on Suno.
And now nobody, because there was some speculation that maybe there was a hack. APIs can get hacked. Maybe a user on Suno uploaded my content, and that's why it was hosted on Suno's server. This is pretty clear that what I entered into OpenBeat was actually forwarded to Suno and then returned back to OpenBeat as though they had generated it. So,
right, so for those who don't know, they use this technology called API Box. At first, we got to go to Google. I asked Google, does Suno have a public API? It says no, Suno does not have a public official API for general developer use. Their focus is on their web interface, but third-party unofficial wrappers exist, often using reverse engineered methods to mimic user actions. Though using them carries risks and isn't officially supported, while there are many unofficial APIs like those on Hugging Face, GitHub, and Rapid API that allow programmatic access by mimicking the website, these aren't sanctioned by Suno and may violate terms of service with official API releases rumored but not yet available. So basically, people have created a technological way to go around the what did they say, the red tape? Okay, so one of those companies is called API Box, and this is what DJ Pain 1 found that the company OpenBeat.ai was potentially or using in the actual video. So I'm not a tech person, but they say right on this website that they offer Suno services. Hold on. All right, so I wasn't able to log in today. Maybe API box is under investigation. I don't know. So I just have a video from the other day, 2 days ago, that shows the behind the scenes. Oh, this is through DJ Pain 1. Okay. So it says generate music, meaning Suno V5, Suno V 4.5, version 4.5. So it has all these different things with Suno. And I remember I saw Suno on the website. Let me see if I can pull up. Now, interesting enough, they changed the top banner. I don't remember this being here, but it says for official access to Suno's AI music services, please visit Suno.com. I think Suno reached out in the matter of 2 days that we exposed them, because I don't think Suno even knew about this. And also at API.box, they have Suno API documentation. Okay, so if they try to claim that they never offered Suno, that's a big cap, because we saw it in the here it is right here. It says the AI music API offered by API Box supports multiple model versions, including, they don't say the word Suno. They say including V4.5, V4, and V3.5. Gone is V5 from their existing offering. So definitely us making our videos exposed this company for what they were doing. And it's like, bro, I don't care how a business is built under the hood. Just don't deceive the people. Like I said, it's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. And to the people behind OpenBeat.ai who keep texting me and trying to, I don't even know. Like, you need to talk to the public first before you come to me. Don't come to me and try to resolve stuff behind the scenes. You already did the damage publicly. You need to address the public. It's, again, this company, if they just address what they did, how they did it, why they did it, and just get over it, then we can all move on. As a community, as people, we can all move on. Like I said, everybody on this front page needs to remove your video. Bolo, Ab McCree, Larry O. If I see these videos still up in 48 hours, all of y'all are going to have some issues. And I'm not just talking about on a personal level. I'm talking about actually in a community level, because you can't sit here, let a company deceive people, actually defraud people, and then sit here act innocent. Like, you know better now. Remove your stuff. You're leading people to the website that you just basically claimed you didn't influence people to go to. And like I said, their video, let me see if I could pull it up. Oh wait, I think it's on this tab. Bolo, your video has 180,000 views. Please take accountability and just remove your stuff, bro. You cannot keep skirting around this. Larry O, the same thing. Again, it's not about the ethics. It's not about, do I use Suno? It's about people being deceived. Whether we led people there and we were hyped about the product or not, that doesn't matter. Somebody came to this website. They thought it was the ethical Suno, because you guys got to remember the marketing that was on their website back then said the ethics and all those ethical and all this type of stuff, trained on My Guy Mars and all this type of stuff to make people believe. Because you guys got to remember, My Guy Mars is extremely talented. So for the average person, they go, oh, it's trained on the world's best musician in the world, or one of the best musicians in the world, My Guy Mars and his friends. So of course it's legit. That's what they think in their head. So that was not the case in totality, because they're clearly pulling from Suno. So how do you train Suno? You did not train Suno. And DJ Pain 1's video goes through this in more detail, and Weaver Beats does as well. I'm not giving you guys a good contextual window, but I want you guys to understand, like, the influencers who are still showing their face with this company, they really need to be under review for the next 3 months straight, because this is actually crazy, y'all. This is like a slap in the face to the producer community. Like, we can't get slapped in the face and just be like, all right, let's keep moving as if nothing happened. No, you need to stand your ground and you need to be accountable. All of you. OpenBeat.ai needs to hop on video again, put your face on a camera, talk to the people. Do not read from a script like Abe Bachon from BeatStars. Do not read from a script. Potentially he read from a script. I saw him looking down as if he was reading something. So I could be wrong, but it looked like he was reading from a script. Felt that way. What OpenBeat.ai needs to do, hop on camera, put your face on the camera, and talk to the people. And Larry O, please do not act like you did not see this whole controversy. It's been 4 days, bro. I know you got word of this. The fact that you put up an FL Studio video as if nothing happened, that it just screams detachment. Like I said, Bolo, I know you're defensive. I've been in that, stance before where I felt like people were coming at me, so I wanted to defend myself and explain my point of view. People don't care. They bought into something. They thought it was ethical. Whether you thought that or not doesn't matter. You're the gatekeeper for the community. You let people in. Therefore, you're responsible for what came in. Okay, so please address the people. I don't even have to beg you. It's just like, if you don't do it, it just shows how out of touch you are for responsibility and accountability. How can we trust you as a leader if you won't even be accountable for something that happened under your leadership? As a leader, here's what happens. You can't pass blame as a leader. If I own a corporation, for example, and I'm not saying you own OpenBeat.ai, but you're responsible for that partnership. So, but if I own a corporation, BusyWorks Beats, LLC, and I have a bunch of employees and my employee goes crazy on a customer at my establishment, my venue, I'm responsible because it doesn't matter if I was there or not. I hired the employee and I didn't do psychological evaluations and I didn't have all these protocols in order for them to not even get to that conflict level. I didn't have what was proper. So I can't just pass it off and say, oh, my employee's crazy. No, I got to say I hired the employee. They were on my property and I trained the employee to have customer relations. And I clearly didn't do my job because you see them acting crazy at the venue. So the same thing here. Even though you don't own OpenBeat.ai, you're responsible for what comes into the producer community because you are literally the face, the main face, probably the most. Let me look at the most popular video. Your video has 183,000 views. Jay Black's has 4,000. And then you don't want to take accountability for people signing up to this website. It doesn't mean, again, to take the liability of it. It just means you need to be accountable for driving people to this website and they got deceived on the website. Therefore, you are the traffic giver to the website. You drove the people there. You're responsible for your people. If you're a shepherd and you're, guiding people, you're responsible for the sheep. If you are Moses guiding people out of, Jerusalem or whatever, where's the promised land? Are you just leading people into the woods? So we're looking at you as, are you a leader? Why don't you take responsibility at this point? The fact that you hopped on Weaver's thing and just gave a whole skirt around conversation and about your accolades and why, it's just like, just say you're sorry to your people. Okay. Like that's all we're asking for. Larry O, like, bruh, come on. You cannot act like you don't know what's happening, bruh. It's really pissing me off that these people are doing this. Cause again, like I said, this is the reason why you don't see a bunch of content creators coming together. Like I said before, I have a mastermind. The current mastermind, I had a bigger mastermind before where we had all of our people come together to work on one accord so that we're not on our own little islands as content creators. The main goal was to stick together so that we had leverage against the audio companies. That was the whole point because we have our own products, our own services. Why let these audio companies come into our community and have us do all this crazy stuff, making our reputation look absolutely crazy when we can control the flow of how we do things on an internal level as content creators first, then we worry about the audio companies. That was the whole point of the mastermind group. And now I can see why stuff like this, just imagine guys, as the person who created the network, you have 100 of the top people, okay, 100 plus of the top people in the space in my first mastermind on Telegram. I would have a meeting where we're having like some discussions about what to do moving forward and how to help the people even better moving forward. Only 6 people might show up out of the 100. Let's say even 12 people showed up. Okay. I'm like, okay, 12 out of 100. And then on top of that, when it came to taking action, let's say only 6 people out of the 12 took action. So that means 6 people out of the 100, out of the millions of people in the producer community actually care. That scared the crap out of me. I was like, wow, this is why this community struggles. Is because the people who pose as leaders aren't even leaders. They act like they're not responsible. They don't want to do things to actually help the people. They want to help their pockets. They're only worried about their own survival. They're using you to build up their own survival. As you guys know, there's something called a symbiotic relationship. That's when one party offers something of value to the other party and vice versa. They both benefit each other. This is starting to turn into what's called a parasitic relationship, where they build an audience only to extract from you. What is the value that you guys are getting that supersedes the value that you give back? And that's the awareness I want you guys to start looking at moving forward. Because honestly, if I really went all the way in, and again, if OpenBeat.ai in the next 48 hours, I'm giving them 48 hours from December 10th, 3:54 p.m. Eastern time. If I don't see a video with the face and somebody taking accountability on their channel and stop blaming it on everything else and putting up meme videos in the next 48 hours, then I'm going to expose the entire company and how they act behind the scenes. There's no more playing fair, because at this point, you're just disrespecting us as creators. You're disrespecting the producer community, and you're playing with our reputations around the world. Okay, so now we really got to show the people what's happening, because I'm tired of this bullcrap, and I already have it recorded, so don't try to delete messages now. And I do this not to expose people ahead of time. I do this because people always skirt around accountability, and when it's time for their turn to be accountable, they want to say, "Oh, I didn't do anything," and they throw rocks, they delete. What is it? They throw rocks, they hide their hand. And that pisses me off, because it comes across to you guys watching these videos as if people like myself is crazy talking about nothing, because people try to hide the evidence and it's just like, bruh, we're not trying to destroy your company. OpenBeat.ai. We're trying to get you to be responsible for what you actually did. And it wouldn't even have turned into this whole thing if you just didn't lie. Like, that's just the core of it. It's just the lie. I'm sure people could care less if you're using the API that goes over the API box and all this. They could care less. If they want to hop on Suno, they can hop on Suno. If they want to use your service, they could use your service. We saw what happened to API box. It looks like they got addressed by Suno because their language changed pretty dramatically from last time I saw it. I don't see the word Suno on their website anymore. I don't even see V5 on their website anymore, which means they got addressed by Suno. And look, I'm going to say one more thing, and it probably comes across like I'm just some ego person, but look, they're playing with our reputation. And I've spent years building up relationship with the audience to train them, to help them, to give them value over time so that they trust me so that we could do bigger business. The fact that a couple content creators are just letting this just slip by as if it's no big deal. I'll just, keep the video up, monetize it. I'll just tell people, I'll make an apology video that only a couple people saw, but the other people are still bamboozled because they don't pay attention to our drama videos. It's just like, y'all, take your power back. Delete your mother effing videos. Like, bruh. I know you guys are just as pissed at home. Again, even if you didn't buy into OpenBeat.ai, you have to be pissed along with the people who really, really thought this was the ethical Suno. They really, really believed that this was the ethical way to go about AI, and it's just ethical, and the apps come in, and bruh, this just pisses me off to no end because, oh my God, there's so much behind the scenes of these creators. And oh my God, I'll just leave it here. I just want you guys to know the truth. And like I said, if OpenBeat.ai from 3:54 p.m. Eastern time, December 10th. So you have until December 12th, 3:54 p.m. Eastern time. If I don't see the video addressing people, it's really going to be a whole expose on your company. And at that point, you're prodding the beehive. And that's all I'll say on that. Peace out, guys.